Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Today, we got some of the biggest news in a long time, and we have one of the biggest new weapons dropping, and I will be getting into that very shortly. Welcome back to the weekly news post. Sorry, I have been away for a couple weeks. Actually managed to get COVID, so really cool. This is my second time getting COVID. You might have been able to tell that my voice is a little bit raspy in the last video or the last news post, but now kind of back to normal. Still clearing my throat a little bit, but for the most part, I am all good. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this week's news post, which is Defender of Varrock. It has now dropped. This is huge. And this is just an entry quest into introducing the Madrat storyline. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So Defender of Varrock, it's time to see if the prophecy comes to pass as we revisit a truly classic quest, Defender of Varrock. So they have the changelog here. I'm not going to click on that because that'll spoil a little bit of me reading. Defender of Varrock, the Madrat storyline continues as darkness falls over Varrock, a foreboding gloom, littered with a shambling undead and permeated with an ancient evil. Has the fallen hero Arav returned to bring about the city's demise? As foretold long ago, there's only one way to find out. If you guys forget, I believe it's either Demon Slayer or the Golem, the quest, a lot of lore is told about how Arav protected the city against undead and zombies and stuff, and how he's destined to come back one day or something. So that, go figure, those quests are prerequisites for this quest, and lore-wise, that's kind of what this is covering. So, as it's the next chapter of an influential questline, and because it's a vital encounter before taking on while Gothic sleeps, you might fancy a bit of a refresher for this quest. We've collaborated with Poison Potion to get you up to speed on the story so far. Here's a video on that. So if you go to the news blog or you check out this guy's YouTube, or it's actually on Old School's YouTube, you can check out the little refresher for this. So this quest is a remake of the 2008 original with a little old school flourish. I probably didn't do this quest back in the day because I did not quest. While much of the quest will remain the same as you remember, there will be a few new additions to bring it up to modern OS standards. We don't want to give too much away, but whether you remember the original or are stepping into it for the first time, get ready to meet new NPCs, face familiar foes, and encounter a more challenging zombie type. Wink wink. And if you remember the original quest and are sweating at the thought of a trip to the wilderness, worry no longer. You'll now begin the quest at the Jolly Boar Inn in Varrock and won't need to brave the terrors of the wildy at all. So head down to the pub and have a chat with Elias White to get started. Of course, when taking on any adventure, preparation is key. Here is a reminder of the quest requirements. So, spoiler warning, if you don't want to see some of the rewards or maybe the recs, go ahead and skip this part, fast forward like 20 seconds or so. So quest requirements: Shield of Arav, Temple of Ikov, below Ice Mountain, Family Crest, What Lies Below, Romeo and Juliet, interesting, Demon Slayer, and Garden of Tranquility. Skill requirements is 55 smithing and 52 hunter. We'd also recommend a combat level of at least 65. And then the rewards are 2 quest points, 15k smithing XP, 15k hunter XP, a new area with a new enemy type, armored zombies who have the chance to drop a new weapon, the zombie axe. So new enemies, while our main antagonists may have familiar faces, we brought to life a new horde of enemies just for this old school reimagining. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. We've brought to life a new horde of enemies just for this old school reimagining. Lurking in stage left, armored zombies. I think this is actually lurching. Which, in case y'all didn't know, that means to like slightly move forward, I believe. To slightly move, something like that. Anyways, these are a tougher, higher level zombie type, and they remain accessible once completed. As in the original quest, the base where you encounter them is multi-combat, and the zombies are really packed in there, giving you the chance to unleash some very satisfying multi-target attacks. And because these say armored, I'm going to assume that these are this is going to be a great place to do bursting or barraging. Probably not so much for chins, because I imagine they will have more range defense. New weapon. Following discussion with players and a pass in the polls, we're extremely excited to bring the zombie axe to the game. Let's remind ourselves how this new weapon will function. So attack rate is 5, melee strength is 107, which is a pretty good number. 105 slash and 90 crush, so both of these are actually very good numbers. The zombie axe as a one-handed weapon will sit as a nice upgrade for dragon weaponry before you move on to the abyssal whip, although as previously stated, the axe's swift attack speed makes it an attractive option in its own right. It requires 65 attack to wield and has a crush bonus of 90, meaning the axe sits nicely beside the Zamorak and Hasta and maintains its place in the meta. Zombie axe will drop broken, and you'll need 70 smithing to repair it at an anvil. This makes the axe a little bit more challenging for iron players to obtain, ensuring that it doesn't crowd out the dragon scimitar too early on. Both broken and repaired versions will be tradable for non-iron players. We'd also like to clarify that this weapon is not a direct reward from the quest. It's obtainable afterwards as a drop. Yeah, that's enough talking. It's time to gear up and investigate these rumors. Head to the Jelly Boar Inn in Varrock and have a chat with Elias White to begin. Good luck. So, this is pretty huge. 65 attack to use this, and it's one-handed. It being a new upgrade after dragon weaponry is such a huge deal. We finally have something that can bridge the gap in between dragon weapons and the abyssal whip, which has a crazy requirement of like 85 something slayer. It's very huge. However, the zombie axe will require 70 smithing to actually do this. So for Iron Man, this will be a little bit of a challenge to get because you'll still need to get 70 smithing. But it's really not too terrible when you compare 70 smithing to 85 slayers, so still very, very good. And it is tradable, so for non-iron players, it will be you'll still be able to get it. So yeah, that is honestly huge. We're gonna move on from there, but that is insane. That's some of the biggest news we have seen in quite a while. Definitely one of the biggest impactful updates in a while. So, 11th birthday of Old School RuneScape. 11 years of Old School RuneScape. Doesn't the time go so fast? It feels like just yesterday we stepped into the brand new chapter of RuneScape. Lovingly concocted blend of nostalgia and forward thinking with a uniquely community-led spirit. Here's to 11 more and 11 after that, and well, you know. They won't be running a specific in-game event this year, given our birthday decorations fresh and kitted a refresh and kitted out the Falador party room so you can interact with the party table to unlock all previous birthday event rewards. If you're after your very own Gnome Child plush free character or giant cake to carry around, then you have until March 13th to take a trip to Fally and get your goodies. But wait, there's more. We're hosting a birthday live stream and you're all invited to join Mod Sween, Sarni, plus a couple of JMod guests on February 22nd starting at 16 GMT. It's going to be a jam-packed celebration including in-game pass show, JMod quiz, and a handful of incredible giveaway prizes. More surprises you don't want to spoil. Believe us when we say it, you don't want to miss this one. Head to World 499, pop down to the museum below the Falador party room, start congregating around 16:30, aim to hit the catwalk 16:45. Don't care too much about this. They're doing giveaway original soundtracks classics double deluxe vinyl. Interesting. 3 copies of the core set of our RuneScape Kingdoms board game. Pretty cool. Here we go. Some more actual RuneScape stuff. Rune pouch. On the topic of birthdays and the giving spirit, this week we're gifting you Another update from our recent game jam project, some highly anticipated rune pouch improvements. If you ever gotten yourself psyched up for a general Groudor trip, gotten all the way there and realized you forgot to manually empty and refill your rune pouch with all the correct runes? Us neither, but it's happened to a friend of ours. While there's always some margin for user error, today's changes should make it easier than ever to quickly get your pouch prepared for any situation. With today's game update, you'll be able to left-click Configure your rune pouch or Divine rune pouch to set up 4 separate loadouts and switch between them in an instant. That is insane. I can't actually believe that this made it into the game. But I'm not against this at all. I just cannot believe that it made it into the game. Upon clicking Configure, you'll be greeted with an interface much like the one above, and as long as that interface is open, any runes withdrawn from your bank will attempt to go into the pouch rather than into your inventory. At the very top, you'll see a deposit button that lets you empty your runes directly into the bank and free up your pouch. Just below, you'll see whatever is currently in your pouch, which can be deposited by right-clicking for the usual deposit 1, 5, 10x all options, or by left click, which will default to the quantity that you've set at the bottom of the bank interface. As a little bonus, these options also allow the runes to be deposited on a free-to-play world, so lapsed members can empty their pouches at last. Such relief. Keep moving down and we get to what you're all waiting for, loadouts. Clicking any of the arrows on the left of each row will automatically replace whatever's in your pouch with whatever loadout you've selected. Any displaced runes will be moved into the bank, while any runes added to the pouch will be added in the following order of priority. If enough of those runes already exist in the pouch, they'll be moved to the correct space. Then runes up to the total amount will be placed into the pouch from your inventory. Then runes up to the total amount will be placed into the pouch from your bank. If you started with too many runes in the pouch for your desired quantity, then excess runes will be moved to the bank. See, we won't get too far into the weeds of it all, but we can confirm the system works wonderfully and should feel really responsive. Perhaps the most important part is learning how to set up your loadouts in the first place. Fortunately, it's extremely simple. When you first open this interface, you'll notice that every slot for every loadout is big ol' X. This X means keep this slot empty, but can be left clicked to let you change what goes into that slot for that particular loadout. Clicking on any given slot will bring up an interface just like this, allowing you to choose any rune you'd like. After you select a rune, you'll be able to define any quantity you'd like, up to the pouch's 16,000 rune cap, or you can type 0 rather than 16,000 for no limit, which effectively means the pouch will pull as many runes as possible from your bank to fill up the pouch, up to a cap of 16k. You can do this for every slot and every loadout, and then find yourself switching between them all with the click of a single button. Nifty. That is insane. That's about all we've got. Give it a go and let us know whether everything's working as you'd expect when it comes to getting geared up. The future is now. Okay, so they made some quest start highlights. So their new official client, also known as the C++ client, within the settings menu you find a new option to enable quest start highlights. Once enabled, these highlights will clearly mark the characters and or scenery you need to interact with to start a quest. There are also additional options to show highlights based on requirements and to only highlight the last quest viewed. So we're delving into RuneLite territory with this, very interesting, but I'm not against it at all. New music area, this is big expansion to the modern music area mode. Okay, so they're making transitions for music songs when moving from area to area. They're making the transition more smooth and more natural. Okay, and where appropriate, some areas have a selection of thematic tracks that shuffle rather than one single track looping. I actually really like that. Hopefully this update gives you some new ways to enjoy old school's legendary soundtrack. Yep. Oh, you can always switch between modern and classic, so yep, that'll be good. Full year in review update, merch, Valley goodies and anniversaries, RuneScape Kingdoms other changes. When pouring buckets of water into the hopper until brewing, your character will now use all your buckets one by one without you needing to click repeatedly. Peak option on the winches at Cerberus now gives the player count in all 3 caves. This information is also available from the Keymaster for convenience. The flickering that occurs when fighting kilowatts has been toned down, as such the epilepsy warning before fighting them has been removed. Cool. And that is all we have for this week's news post. That is some pretty good stuff. I love the rune pouch stuff, and I absolutely love the gap in between dragon weaponry and the abyssal whip finally being bridged a little bit. The zombie axe, which I'm going to guess that that's what this is right here. I absolutely love that so very much. That makes me very happy. 70 smithing is a little bit of a steep requirement, but definitely not a 85 slayer steep requirement. So cannot wait to delve into this quest. And yeah, I hope all you guys enjoy this quest. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you want to keep tuning in to these weekly news posts, that will hopefully continue to be weekly from here on out, now that I am no longer deathly ill. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.